hello again. We're going to pick up with number 6, which is actually a problem that's very similar to number 5 that we just did. It's just that in number 6 we are given a table instead of a graph, but the process for this is the same, and that's kind of the idea, is we want to be able to create that equation no matter which type of data we're given originally. So the first question here is to find the additional cost per premium channel. On the last question we did the y-intercept first. On this question we're doing the slope first. And that's because since we don't have the graph, we have to know the slope in order to get back to where the y-intercept is. We'll get to that after we get the slope here. So in order to find the slope, remember that my final goal is I want to know how much it costs per one premium channel. This is a situation where you have cable and they charge an additional amount per premium channel. So we want to, when we're done with this slope, know how much it costs for one additional premium channel. So we can pick any of these points. We just need 2 of them. I'm going to just take the first 2. And I need to know how much the cost went up between this point and this point. So if I take 100 and I subtract 64, that's going to tell me that the cost went up by $36. Well, how many channels did that $36 get me? Well, I went to 6 channels from 2 channels. So in a change of 4 channels, I went up $36, which means if I divide this, that I'm paying $9 for each one additional premium channel. Now, as far as the initial cost for basic service, there was 2 different ways that we did this. The first way is more arithmetic or algebraic, where we could say, okay, well, if this is 2 premium channels and I know they cost me $9 each, then 2 times $9 is $18. So I'm paying $18 for the 2 premium channels. The question is, where's the rest of that money coming from? Well, that would be our initial fee. That would be our initial cost. So $64 is what we're paying. $18 of that is for the premium channels. And so the initial cost would be that 64 minus 18, which is $46. So the additional, or the initial cost of the cable service is $46. If I go to the kind of a more visual way of doing it, I can also go back to what I had in the table and work my way backward until I don't have any premium channels. So if you like this way better, this works also. So at 2 premium channels, we were paying $64. We know each premium channel costs $9. So if I only had 1 premium channel, take away $9 from the 64, and we'd be at $55. And so 1 premium channel should only cost me $55. And here's what I want. I want to know what no premium channels cost. And so if I take the 55 and I subtract off $9 more, I'll be at $46. And so either way you work this, you have $46 as your initial cost for the basic cable service. So now we've done the hard work. We have the slope, we have the initial cost, and we're ready to write an equation. So the cost of the cable is $46 to start with, plus $9 for each additional channel. And remember, these letters don't matter. If you want to use a Y and an X, or if you pick P for premium, A for amount, it doesn't matter. These are variables. You can pick what letter you want to represent them. The final question here says that your family has a wide variety of tastes, and so would really like to have 10 premium channels to watch all their favorite shows. They have $150 to budget for cable. So we're going to use the information we have and decide if they can afford it. So now that we have our equation, that's fairly quick. We just take C, and that equals $46 plus 9 times 10. And we find out that that's 46 plus 90. And so yes, we have enough, because that would only cost $136. And so if they have $150 to budget for that, then they can definitely get 10 channels. In fact, they could have gotten one more channel. They could have gotten 11 channels, because 11 channels would have cost $9 more. So 11 channels would have resulted in $145. Now, it doesn't ask that. The only requirement on this problem is that you say whether or not they can afford 10 channels, but in reality they could afford 11 channels. Okay, so let's get rid of this problem. Move on to number 7. In number 7, this is the type of problem where we're going to be backing out of a sales tax. And so we have Alex, who's gone and purchased presents for his friends. He feels he might have paid too much when they charged him $270, but he's in a hurry, so he runs off and heads home. When he gets home, though, he can't find the receipt, and he really wanted to know how much the cost was for his gifts before the taxes. And we talked about the other day that if you know the amount before taxes, in this situation, you're going to take that times 1.082. This would be Eduardo's method of finding additional tax. And that would get you the total. So if you knew what the amount was before, you took it times 1 plus the percentage, you would get the total with tax. But this isn't what we have. We have the taxed total portion of it, and we need to know before. So we have to divide by 1.082. And I can tell you there's going to be one almost exactly like this on the test. I'm going to give you a total, and I'm going to ask you what the cost was before the tax. And this is what you're going to have to do. So in this case, before would equal $270.50 divided by 1.082. And the process is always the same. There's nothing that I can really do to change this except change the scenario. You're going to take the total afterwards, and you're going to divide it by 1 plus whatever the sales tax is. So in this case, by happy accident, because I really didn't plan this, I just grabbed the numbers and it worked out nice like this. The before was $250. So if he was charged 8% tax, or 8.2% tax, he must have started with $250 to have arrived at $270.50. And then just kind of in general, if you want to know the before tax amount. Sorry, my handwriting on this is so crazy. If you want to know the amount before tax, you're always going to take the amount after tax and you're going to divide that by one point whatever, and that whatever is the tax rate or the tax percent as a decimal. So in this case, our tax amount was 8.2%, so we put in 0.082 right here. So it's 1 point and then whatever the tax is. So if the tax was 7%, it'd be 1.07. If the tax was 3%, it'd be 1.03. If the tax happened to be 12%, it'd be 1.12. So whatever that is, we put that there, and this is kind of a general formula. I will not give you this equation on the test. This isn't really an equation so much as it's a concept. So let's go to our last problem. And in this problem, I will give you this formula. You do not have to have this memorized. And this is the formula for finding compound interest if it's compounded yearly. And we're hoping to calculate if this person has $3,500 to put into their account, what they would have after 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years. So the calculation is to take $3,500, that's your principal, that's the P. You don't have to memorize this formula, but you do have to know what the parts are. Then you're going to take 1 plus the interest rate, always as a decimal, so 0.46, and you're going to take that to the power of the time, the number of years, so 5. In your calculator, you can either do parentheses 1 plus 0.046, or you can just do it as 1.046. You don't have to keep those separated. You can add them together. So this first one, $3,500 times 1.046 to the power of 5 comes out to be, I'm going to type this, $4,382, and if you round it correctly, it's 55 cents. Now for these other ones, now that we have a formula, this is a lovely thing about formulas, we just can put in our new values. So it's $3,500 times 1.06 to the 10th, and $3,500 times 1.046 to the 20th. So I'm going to finalize up here and say good luck, and let me know if you have any other questions. You can email me, and I will see everybody Monday in order to take the exam. This is going to cut me off at 15 minutes, and I'm not going to do a whole nother video just to finish up that last bit. So I'm going to try to get these numbers in here really quick. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know.